Oh, right. We are live. Cool, cool, cool. I think we're live. Let me check. Let's go to. Oh, we are live. Okay. Hey, Shauna. Hey, Jody. Thanks so much for being here. Happy Sunday. I'm so happy to be here with you guys. And I'm sure I'll see you guys again in an hour live on Zoom. This is so fun. Hey, Vernon. Hey, Kelsey. All right. So, what I'm thinking is what we'll do for a little bit. Hey, Namaste. Hey, Karen. Hey, Candace. Hey, Miket. Papa used to say, I am what I am, and that's all that I am. I love that. Yep. Hey, Heather. Oh, it's so good to see you, Heather. I've been thinking of you lately. So happy to have you. All right. So, first thing I'd like to do is to go over, answer questions about the tarot mysticism process and about everything we just watched. Reflections, questions, anything. And then we'll do a couple of readings towards the end. We'll do like some rapid fire readings. And then for a lot of you, I'll see you in the TMA practice session at 2. So yeah, if anyone has any questions, reflections on all this stuff that we just went through, I know it was like kind of a lot. I have to digest. Yep, I totally feel that. So yeah, one of the ways to think about like these 3 levels of tarot reading is, so there's always a connection between the message, the object that is arising in your awareness, and you. And what we're focusing now in the tarot divination course is building, really intimately building our relationships with the cards through our own life experience, through number, through symbol, through intuition. And then in doing so, those cards act as signals for what's arising in time, space, here, there, coming or going. So all the things that we might ask about, right? And all divinatory points of information are things. What will I do? What will I make? What will I change? What will change in my life? What will be differentiated to make my experience? So whether that's finding love or ending love or health or work or like, what do I need to know, right? Whenever we ask the question, what do I need to know? There's kind of this urge to focus on something, and that something is usually something that we do make, change, differentiate. And so when we're doing divination, the card, like just as a fun example, I'm just going to pull a random card here. Like the Princess of Wands is a symbol of somebody doing something. What are they doing? They're doing what they're excited about. They are doing something that they're enthusiastic about, something they're passionate about. Or maybe they are making a scene. Princess of Wands is very high energy. Or they are differentiating themselves by their willingness to express, their willingness to love, their willingness to get angry. All qualities of the Princess of Wands. Yeah. So that would be like a divination in terms of things. So this could be like what's going to happen. It could be like an opportunity coming up in the realm of work, or not necessarily work, but in the realm of what somebody's calling, somebody's passion, right? Or being called. So this is a card I could see this as being like hired or being brought into a higher power to do the work one wants to do, whether professionally or not. So that's like a prediction. That's something somebody does. It's something that is an opportunity that is made that now differentiates themselves from above and below. Now, see how even now I'm starting to pour over into the next level, which is the subtle causal. So the subtle causal level of tarot would be what is happening subtly that's causing our Princess of Wands to get this opportunity to ascend metaphorically, right? She's ascending. What is she ascending into? She's ascending into the Yod. And the Yod is the fiery letter, the first letter of the Tetragrammaton. So she's ascending into this higher power. So that ascension into this higher power that we are now thinking of in this moment is the archetypal pattern underlying the manifestation of her experience, right? So one might say, if you want to use a Kabbalistic way of explaining it, that this person's opportunity to be incorporated into this new job, to be hired, to be brought into this new group of something she's passionate about, the underlying subtle plane of that is the princess as the Hay final of Tetragrammaton coming into the Yod. And all this stuff I'm going to teach an esoteric tarot course in September. But it's kind of like the more subtle thing behind it. And then we might go into the mystical level, which is not so much what's causing. So let me back up. This causal level is everything the Princess of Wands represents. What if you're Kabbalah friendly, you might say this is Yetziratic, this is mental, this is the pattern underlying it. So all these symbols point to somebody who is leaving the ground and rising up into this flame. Okay, so that is the symbol area. And so we see ourselves rising up into this flame, and in that subtle pattern, however that pattern is within us. Sometimes it's a feeling. Sometimes it's just we're inspired. Sometimes we're just like feeling extra enthusiastic one week, and so we're feeling extra daring, and we follow that energy, and that manifests the personality of the Princess of Wands, and we become this enthusiastic inspiration for other people. So the manifestation is we inspire other people, we embody the Princess of Wands. That's the mechanical. The causal is the actual enthusiasm within us, the feeling, the excitement, all of that. Okay, which is expressed through the symbols of the card and all the attributions, astrologically, Kabbalistically, and so on. All these things are what we'll be studying we have esoteric tarot I'm teaching in September. We have tarot and astrology we're teaching in November. But then there's the next level. And that is what happens when we go beyond the symbols themselves, right? I know it's anathema to some tarot readers. They're like, what do you mean? Really, when we go beyond the symbols, what are we left with? And what we're left with in the Princess of Wands, to use an example, is that the act of rising up into this Yod, into this flame, into this higher power, and everything that can symbolize in us, that very act is not only it shows that it's not really happening. It shows that in this act alone, in this one act of rising up, is the one movement of all of experience. And it expresses that through all the symbols in this card, all the patterns, all the Kabbalistic and astrological attributions of this card express this direct being, this form of I am. Okay? So we have three levels. We have the divinatory, mechanical of what's going to happen. We have the subtle causal of what are the patterns that is causing what's going to happen. And then we have the mystical, which is nothing really actually happens. That's the big leap, right? Let's do another example. Jody said, I think I need a primer of sorts before the M4M course. Yeah, okay. The primer is going to be the esoteric tarot and the tarot and astrology. And I want to actually talk about this for a sec. So this stuff that I'm teaching, I have an entire year-long curriculum. I know a lot of you here are already signed up for that. And what I'm actually going to do is the reason I do a year-long curriculum is it takes time to build this stuff up. This is not like 101, like let's sit down and feel good about tarot. This is like, let's actually learn these deeper secrets, how we can use them in our lives to make our lives better and make everyone else's lives better. And then when our lives are so freaking good that they can't get better, we do something completely different. We go even farther. So the whole curriculum is a year long, and it's going to be a lot of stuff. But what I'm actually going to be doing is I'm opening up applications from now into 2 weeks. I'm doing I just spoke with my team. We're doing a super small 2-week application window for anyone that's not enrolled, because again, these courses are not scheduled to repeat. As I said before, I don't know what's going to happen after this curriculum. So I want anyone who's not enrolled in these courses, now's the time to do it. So I'm going to be we're going to be doing 2 weeks of applications. It's going to be a crazy 2 weeks. And what I've worked on with my team is we're setting up a hybrid learning style. So there's going to be, it's going to be both live classes, live practice sessions, and pre-recorded lecture videos. So there's going to be parts that you can totally learn at your own pace. There's going to be parts that are live that you're going to be learning working directly with me. There's going to be parts you're going to be working with the community. So it's going to fit all types of learning styles, and I'm really, really excited for it. Here's the honest thing though. Every year I have people that come to me that say they want to learn the Thoth Tarot Mastery course, which is at the end of the curriculum. And I have to deny people because they haven't taken the prerequisite courses. If you don't take the prerequisite courses, you're not going to stand a chance in the Thoth Tarot Mastery or the Thoth Tarot Mysticism or any other course you want to take. So if you want to go there, now is the time to enroll so you can join me and the rest of the cohort to go step by step through all this material, so that come January when we go into Mysticism for Misfits and I turn tarot inside out for everyone, you're not like freaking out, right? So if you're enrolled, I'm really excited. If you're not enrolled, now is definitely the time. All right, so yeah. So let's do another example of these 3 planes, right? So let's say I'm pulling and that's another court card. I want to do like not a court card. Okay, so the Hermit, this is a fun one. So on the mechanical plane, in the kind of colloquial divinatory plane, the Hermit can show up for being alone. Sometimes loneliness. It could also show up for going into a new area that's unfamiliar to you, that you go alone. In some ways, this could be guidance. It could be wisdom. It could be your inner light. It could be all these things, right? Spending time alone, levels of isolation, all that good stuff. That's our traditional tarot divination, and it's good, right? Great, love that. Okay, move on to the next level. The next level, now we're going to bring in all the symbols and the associations. So what are the associations? We have the Hebrew letter Yod. We have Virgo astrologically. And Yod is the seed and source code of the whole Hebrew alphabet. We have the Yod right over here, if you can see it, that small little Yod there. It's like the apostrophe of God. And the Yod, as the seed of the whole alphabet, the Yod symbolizes the kind of source code of the whole universe. And so the Hermit becomes the source code of the whole universe, the sacred seed. And that is connected with Virgo, because Virgo is the mutable earth sign. And Virgo is the virgin. Virgo is the fertile earth that is receiving this seed to create all of life on earth. It is mutable, so in a way it's flexible. It is in a way it's kind of submitting to the seed in a sort of way. And the flexibility, the mutability of earth allows it to take all the shapes it needs to create all these amazing organisms and you and I. Okay? Symbolically on the card, this is the Hermit moving into the wheat of Virgo, into the earth, and he has set his sights on the Orphic egg. The Orphic egg is a symbol of creation through dual gender or opposition. And we get the sense that he's going into the underworld because we have the 3-headed Cerberus in one corner. So he's going into the underworld. He's going from spirit to matter. We also have this sperm cell in the other corner, and that sperm cell emphasizes the idea of the seed, the Yod, right? In that sperm cell, you'll actually see there's a very subtle, it's probably not going to clear, there's a very subtle humanoid figure. You see that little humanoid that's kind of doing this? So we have this little humanoid, and the idea is this is an outmoded scientific theory, was that people started as these like little fetus things in sperm cells. But the meaning of this is that the design below in this very like subtle form is going to expand out. And so so we have this idea of fertility. Okay, so we have all these symbols talking about a seed going into fertile earth, going into new land to exact its will, exact its intelligence. And he takes the power of the sun. So Crowley in the Thoth deck is very solar friendly. It's like if it was a Pokemon, it would absolutely be a fire type Pokemon. So we take the sun, and through the sun's energy, and this kind of makes sense because literally the sun's energy and plants and photosynthesis and the whole ecosystem, it goes from the sun into the earth into our experience. Okay, so that would be a sort of archetypal, abstract set of patterns that are underlying our experiences. So let's say that this card is signifying that you need to spend some time alone. That's the divination. The underlying pattern of that is you being the seed in a new land of fertile soil, but alone, being placed there, being planted there, about to sprout and grow into something new. Like that's kind of this just very, I mean, if you subscribe to the idea that we have like evolutionary, like ancestral memory, evolutionary memory, planetary memory, you know, we've been a lot of seeds, right? Or we've been a lot of, I don't know, maybe we haven't been seeds. We've been a lot of something. We've been a lot of like, we've had this pattern of new life coming in, taking root or being fertilized and then growing. And so when you're working with this level of tarot, it's like you don't have to say, oh my God, I'm going to be alone, I'm going to be lonely, but I want to find love. It's like, no, you are embodying all of these archetypes and principles, and that's what you're being. Like, it's freaking awesome. And so it's more, it's kind of like, I don't know, I don't want to say it's more sophisticated, but it's kind of recognizing that the patterns you are experiencing, which are creating what's showing up, are the patterns of just existence. It kind of says like, hey, the universe has got your back. It's cool. You're not alone. We've done this before, right? Yeah. And then you might kind of work with the energy of Virgo. And what is Virgo? Virgo is a sign of self-perfection. It's a sign of service. It's a sign of personal development. It's a sign of refinement. And so when you incorporate the energy of Virgo, I don't even care if you're a Virgo or if you have nothing in Virgo. When you pull this card, the energy of Virgo is there in one way or the other. So when you can say, oh, it's not just me being alone, it's not just me isolating, it's me harnessing the energy of Virgo in a self-refining process, then you can take the energy of what is literally subtly underlying what's going on and work with it instead of saying, oh, it's good or it's bad. Do you see what I'm saying? It's more, yeah, it's like, it's more archetypal. For future incarnations, yeah, I would say that's a big thing too. And then in the sense, we connect with this pattern outside of just our lives. So in this way, we start to go beyond the personal and start to look into the transpersonal. We start looking into the just patterns of nature. And when you can do that, it's like there's nothing that's going to really shake you if you can see and recognize that everything you experience is a valid pattern of nature. You can take this really far. Okay, so that would be the subtle causal, the energy of Virgo, the idea of the seed, the being planted. And then you can take that and say, okay, how can I best utilize my time and energy as this planted seed form, as this time where I'm going to develop myself and refine myself in this new chapter of life that is unfamiliar to me, right? Do you see how now you're taking more agency over your life, and it's not just, oh, you're going to be alone. Oh, it's time to spend some time alone. There's so many symbols and associations you can work with here. And you know, it's funny because like this stuff is not as popular as the first one because everyone wants to know how they're going to get paid, how they're going to get laid, how they're going to stay unafraid and enjoy life's parade. And I get that. So this level is not going to be for everyone. The third level is definitely not going to be for everyone, but I think is the best level. So once you go beyond the divinatory, which is what's going to happen, and then you go beyond the causal, which is what's causing what to happen, what are the patterns that my body mind is going through that is actually more universal than I might admit at first. When you go beyond that, then there's the mystical. And the mystical is where the pattern starts to kind of dissolve when you recognize that the pattern itself is only a perspective of the whole. And then the perspective and the whole start to merge. So in the mystical level of the hermit, what we would look at if you through the Tarot mysticism process is the subjective experience being directly or becoming the personal consciousness. So let's go to the Hermit card of our Tarot mysticism process guide right here. And if we read the Hermit card, it says, now this is what takes time. And this is something we have to sit on and chew for a while. Like these are like, we have to chew on this stuff and really kind of commit to it for it to land. And then when it lands, it's freaking awesome. So the Hermit says, the subjective experience born from the apparent separation of subject and object, observer and observed, is/becomes the personal consciousness or mind, myself, my idea, ego. Through the path of Virgo, mutable earth. Virgo represents personal growth and self-perfection. The subjective experience symbolized by the lone hermit becomes which illumines the world, symbolized by the sun. This is the microcosm. In Tarot mysticism, this is not separate from the macrocosm. So, like, if you can think of a hermit like standing at like either this hermit, so this hermit, he's contemplating the whole world, essentially, if you look at the Orphic egg over here. And that whole world is in the causal level separate from his mind and his being. But in the mystical level, there is no separation. In the Rider-Waite-Smith, we have the hermit at the very peak of mystical awareness, hinted at by the snow. And he holds the light. And it is his mind which illuminates the whole world below. So when we run this process of the hermit, what we are running is subjective experience is the mind. And when I say subjective experience, that includes a lot of things. It's kind of hard to do this without teaching the whole thing. The subjective experience is chesed, right here. Now, chesed, we're going to have to pull up the tree of life here to really explain this. So, chesed is right here, includes everything above it, includes keter, chokmah, bina. Chesed is subjective experience. And that subjective experience includes the observer and the observed, which come out of pure observation, which is the isness of being. All of that comes into subjective experience. And then the subjective experience, which includes observer and observed, or let me put it this way, includes observer, you right now, and observed. That subjective experience, that dance between observer and observed, is pouring into your own personal mind. That sense of, I exist as Joe Monteleone, as Midnight Crypt, as Miquette, as whoever. And personal mind is not consciousness. We're separating them here. Mind is the localization of that consciousness that says where you are in time and space, what you want to do, what your thought, it's the thought place, right? So, yeah, and then I know that's kind of like a lot of stuff. But then what you want to do is in that personal consciousness, that's where we sit and shape our lives and make choices and carve out karmically or psychologically whatever it is we're going to experience. But when through something like the hermit, you can recognize that that mind is coming out of this subjective experience that combines the observer and the observed, then there is no separation between you and anything else going on in the universe. Every one of these processes leads to one realization. They're not really like 22 different processes. There's just one, like, it just takes one moment. I don't know. For me, it was, for the first time, it was 30 seconds. And I was like, holy shit, there is nothing in the universe that is cooler than this, because there's nothing that is not this. It just takes like one little boop. And each card in this sense, on the mystical level, is pointing to that in its own way, right? Now, let's reverse this just because it's fun, right? Let's reverse it back to level 1. So we're on level 3 right now. We're on the mystical plane. We're in the mystical plane. Every card is an expression of the whole directly, no exceptions. So let's say, okay, Joe, you are way too abstract. What the hell are you talking about? How is this practical? Well, when you have this connection between personal consciousness and the subjective experience, which is itself the observer and the observed, that pours into all of these subtle causal patterns that the hermit illustrates for us, which include planting the seed, the yod, Virgo, fertility, movement of the logos into matter, movement of the intelligence, all these things that I teach in all these things that either you learn, or if you come to my courses, you'll learn all these rich symbols, all this fun stuff. All these symbols come out of that moment of the subjective experience becoming the personal consciousness. Because what are we doing? It's consciousness coming into a seed. It's the yod, right? It's becoming the microcosm. And these are all the patterns that do it, right? So subtle causal archetypal plane would be Virgo, Virgo being the self-perfecter, the fertility of the earth, the growth of the seed, and then there's sexual attributions to the hermit. I think sex is the function attributed by Sefer Yetzirah. So it's like the sex of the universe for the unit of consciousness to come into being. And that, but it's that quiet place before the becoming. So there has to be this lonely, the seed has to be planted, right? He's carrying the energy to the world. And then all of those patterns manifest as you're going to be moving to a new city. You're going to feel alone. You're not going to know anyone, but then you're going to start to create a new life for yourself, right? That's so cool in my mind. I think that's so cool. And most people will want to just hear the first part potentially, but I don't know. I feel like we're getting more interesting with tarot. I feel like we're evolving, you know, shit's hitting the fan collectively. People, there's more to play with. Oh, thank you so much, Nilma. That's so sweet of you. Miket says, it's almost like the teaching should be reversed. Yeah, so that's kind of cool. You can go both ways. You can absolutely go both ways. And one way to kind of crudely summarize it, I would call one way mysticism and one way manifestation. So where manifestation would be the mystical conscious level coming into patterns and archetypes and kind of, you know, going into Maya, the world of illusion, going into separation, diversity, patterns, archetypes, and then all of those patterns finding physical embodiment, or the physical embodiment, which includes you and me, going into the archetypal patterns and all the subtle planes and the astral and the diversity of that, and then going even further into the mystical. Yeah. Okay, so if these are 3 levels that there's a lot to each level. Like, I'm not saying any one of these levels are simple. I'm not saying reading tarot on the mechanical level is simple. It's not, you know, it takes time. I'm not saying the causal level, the subtle level is simple. There's a lot there. There's a lot to study: symbolism, associations, connections. And obviously the mystical level is super advanced in its own right. So yeah, that's why my curriculum's a year long and it covers all these levels. We're just now finishing the tarot divination course, which covers the mechanical predictive level. What I'm choosing to do I mentioned it earlier, is I am opening applications for 2 weeks only for anyone that wants to catch up and do the whole curriculum. It's a lot of work, but it's a one-stop shop for everything tarot and a lot of mystical connections. And if you go as far as Mysticism for Misfits, we'll turn this whole thing inside out. And there's a lot of practices that like I can't teach you over like a YouTube live or like a recorded YouTube video or a blog or anything. Like you just have to do them. We have to do them together. So in January, we're going to be studying this, but then we're going to be doing the actual exercises to work this material and actually have direct experiences. We're going to be doing meta meditations. We're going to be doing something called the peace process, which heals so much shit, inner blocks, emotional things. It's healed physical pain. It's a lot of like healing work we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing tarot mysticism process. We're going to be doing other stuff, and it's going to be so fun. I'm so excited. And I have courses on the Thoth deck too. So if you want to go into all the symbols, all the connections, all of this crazy stuff, we're going to be doing the Thoth material in April or May of next year. I have 2 courses for that. But I can't have you in those courses unless you catch up and take the Esoteric Tarot and the Tarot and Astrology course and the Advanced Tarot, which is happening now. So what I'm doing for that, for people that want to join that did not take the Tarot Divination course, I worked with my team to create a hybrid version where you can catch up through recordings, and you could join us for the Esoteric Tarot course in September, where you'll learn all about the Tree of Life and Hermeticism and how to actually use it in a tarot practice. So it's not just this crazy abstract thing, but it's something that you can understand, use, and actually use to make your life better. That's kind of the missing piece, I find. All this esoteric stuff is flying around and all this fancy stuff, and people are looking at it and studying it, and yet their life is still the same a year later. That's not the type of shit that I do. This is like, if you know how to work with this stuff, your life will literally change. It will change, and if you saw a before and after picture of me, oh my God, you wouldn't recognize me. Anyway, so we're going to be doing Kabbalah in September. We're going to be doing Tarot and Astrology in November. We're going to be doing Mysticism for Misfits in January. And then we're going to be doing Thoth courses in April or May, I forget. And then who knows what will happen. But yeah, so the courses are not scheduled to repeat. So if you want to join, now is the time. 2-week, super small application window. And every time I open up applications, there are always applications that come in late. And what I have to do is I have to scram to fit everybody in before the first class, and it's crazy. And then I come in the first, and I'm all stressed out, and everyone's like, oh my God, I got to catch up. And it's like, just please get your application in now so I could get you secure and set up so you don't hit me up a week after class. It's just, it'll make your life better. It'll make my life better. It happens every time. Okay, so let's do some readings now. So what I'd like to do is I'm going to do a few minutes of readings for anyone. The way this works is I'm not going to go back in the chat. So it's going to be first come, first serve. So from this moment forward, whoever puts a question in the chat for a tarot reading, I'll get to you. And if I don't get to you, well, I'll try to get to you. But if I don't get to you, we can do it on another live. Because in not too long of a time, I do have to get off because I do have a practice session with the Tarot Mysticism Academy cohort, which I'm so excited to see. And yeah. I just broke up with my partner of 8 years. What do I need to know about that situation right now? Okay, Gloria, let's look into that. I invoke thee, that thou send Haru, the great angel, set upon the operation of the secret wisdom, to lay the invisible hands upon these consecrated cards of art, that thereby maintain knowledge of hidden things, and your enough one name. Amen. All right, I just broke up with my partner of 8 years. What do I need to know about that? All right, so 3 of Wands. Okay, so this is really exciting. 3 of Wands is a slow but certain recovery. So 3 of Wands is a card of virtue. It's called virtue. It's about establishing. It's the path ahead that is slowly but surely being established for you. And what I'm getting here is there's some aspect of you that needs to be away from this person for the next like major growth spurt and your personal development. This is nothing against the person. It's nothing against anyone. It's in somehow, I mean, this is a really good card. This is a very auspicious card. It's a card of things picking up in terms of, it could be your career, could be being in the right social group, could be being in the right environment, and just things kind of landing for you. Like, I know it might not feel like that now, but if you can sink into the trust. So the big thing here is when somebody comes, they're for your benefit. When somebody goes, that's for your benefit too. It's always for your benefit no matter what. And the Three of Wands is a big benefit card. So this is development of something. So I would say I'm getting for you, like, I don't know, I just get being at the right place at the right time, finding the right people, a deeper connection with your purpose, with your professional life. And I also feel like something with you also is like, there's a part of you that's becoming more radically honest and more like present and ready to receive the energies of others. And something about that for you, there's a presence, there's an honesty, there's an integrity that you're growing into that you will grow into further without this person for right now. Oh, so you're the one that broke up with him. Yes. Okay, then of course the Three of Wands. Yeah. Yeah. And so it's like, that's the big thing here is it's for your benefit, it's for my benefit. The two of you will grow exactly how you need to grow. But you will grow better separately. It's kind of like two plants that were in the same pot and now they're in different pots and they're bigger, they can grow more. Okay, Shauna. Oh wait, I think I missed. Okay. Kay says, how can I step into my confidence more resiliently? Eight of Discs. It's about maintenance right now, and it's about not getting in your own way and letting what you've set up to do its work. So Eight of Discs is the growth of something, usually material, financial, business-wise, but any kind of thing that you set up in your life. It could be family. You know, if it's family, it could be like letting your family grow the way they need to and not like mess with their growth process in some way, pulling back. But it's, yeah, confidence is like trusting in the natural process of what you've already put into motion. And I'm going to say this, if you're not happy with what you put into motion, look at the trajectory. Is it going to naturally improve over time? If so, let it be. If not, put some things in motion now and then just wait. That's a big thing. Just wait, just relax. And you know, sometimes the best answer to someone is no answer. You don't have to justify yourself. You don't have to have an answer. Sometimes it's just the talk ticks, you know, the clock ticks, and just things move on, you know. For Shauna, no question, just curious what the cards say. Princess of Cups, now's a really deep, really delicious time for you to go inwards and enjoy your creativity, enjoy your mind, enjoy your imagination. That's a big one. Really sink and enjoy your imagination. Enjoy how your imagination integrates and works and reflects with what you're experiencing between family, between anything. Over the next couple weeks, this is very dreamy, it's very creative, and you might find that through the Princess of Cups, by honoring your imagination, you will naturally create something amazing without even trying, without even planning to do it. Lori says, what can I do for my business success? Ooh, Lori, I love that you asked this question. My Capricorn stellium is going to be right on it. All right, let's see, business success. Okay, the Ace of Cups. Ace of Cups is more one-on-one work with people in some way, more sense of customer service and care. And I know there's only so much time in the day, but like something about really bringing your heart into here's the thing, Lori, don't make and create your business out of what you think people want. Make it out of you, out of especially the part of you that's compassionate, you know. For me, like, and this is an example, like I will spend so long manufacturing a YouTube video or a business idea or something, and it will have like this success. And then then another day I will just show up and be my damn self and not have like this success. So it's kind of just showing up and being you, but like really connecting to what you're helping people doing and how it's helped you. There's a rawness coming for you. It's kind of like I'm seeing your boundaries kind of, not your boundaries, your professional boundaries, but your walls coming down. I'm seeing vulnerability. That's the word I'm looking for. Vulnerability with your clients. Karen B, career guidance. Yes, I love a career question. All right, Karen B, 10 of discs. So 10 of discs could be working in finances. It could be accounting. It could be philanthropy. It could be fundraising. It's like dealing with large sums of money, yours or somebody else's, and it could be a big corporation. But I would say it's like, yeah, in some way dealing with large amounts of money. Another way we can look at the 10 of discs here is taking everything you've learned and everything you've received in terms of knowledge, money, and matter, stuff, wealth, and then redistributing it. So this could be a feeling like you want to either go back to school or learn something new or start a business. But look for either yours or somebody else's large amounts of money, and trust that you'll know what to do with it. Kevcraft, what am I? What are you? That's a lovely question. Let's use the mystical level for that. 6 of Wands. So 6 of Wands is Tiferet in the world of Atzilut. So that means that it is the mediating place in the archetypal world. Okay, now what does that mean? So this is glory. This is pride. This is success. So you are success. And you might say, well, what kind of success? You are the success of the universe being you. And how does that happen? It happens through, if we Kabbalistically, Tiferet, the number 6 being the mediating point through the 10 numbers, bringing the above to the below. So to kind of, yeah. But also on a more personal level, on a more like grounded down here level, you are someone that is attracting other people. You are a light of hope. Gloria, I do feel, I need to grow. Yes, okay. Very grateful to have free resources from such a great teacher as you. Oh, thanks so much, Vivi. Gloria says, everything you said is true. Thank you for reaffirming what I already feel. Oh, thanks, Gloria. Am I on the good way for my career and spiritual development? Career and spiritual development. Okay, one, Barbarette. Are you on a good path for career and spiritual development? So yes, actually, yes. I feel like maybe part of you feels like, is this really going to be what I want to do? It's not so exciting. I don't know, but I can actually see a lot of wealth coming your way, a lot of stability. Yeah, I think you're making great choices, really good choices. And you have a knack for knowing where things need to go. It's very logical. It's very grounded. It's very, yeah, I don't know. Maybe you expected yourself to be using more your intuition and your empathy, but you're actually using more your rationality and your logic, which is cool. But you have both. But I would like use the brain. You have a great one, so keep using it. It's gonna be good. Namaste says, I'd like to take a course with you, but would like if tarot is right for my professional path, or if it's just one more whim of my Gemini's mind. Thank you for your lights. Okay, so yeah, reading tarot professionally is not an easy thing. I mean, nothing's easy. Nothing cool worth doing is easy, right? So that's going to be up to you. Like, I can teach you how, this is what I do all the time, full time, and it's amazing, and it's the life that I've wanted to live. I've literally carved out my fantasy life, and it's possible if it's yours. If it's truly what you want to do, I find you have to do what you're meant to do, But I would do some soul searching and see. What I would say, Namaste, is that you can take my courses. I don't teach professional reading until after a whole year of working with me. So you can start with a course or two, or if you want to take my whole curriculum, see how that feels and see what it's like to read for other people regularly in practice sessions, having a practice for yourself, building the skills, and then seeing, hey, maybe you want to start doing that professionally, and then potentially you could join my mastermind and I could actually teach you how to do it professionally. So there's steps. It's not like you have to choose everything now. I would recommend starting with me, seeing how it feels, and yeah. One of the things that I teach, at least, especially as we go into the course in January for Mysticism for Misfits, is how you can take the knowledge that is in the tarot, and not even without pulling the card, but actually using that knowledge to get closer to your purpose, what you're meant to do. And when you get closer to your purpose, things flow more easily, right? We've all had that moment when we're like going against ourselves and it doesn't feel right, and life is like, what am I doing here? Oh my God. And then we have those moments where we're in the flow and we're like, this is exactly what I'm meant to be doing. This is my purpose. It feels good. So the courses will get you closer to that purpose one way or another. Anjali, please guide me. Tarot reading as a profession, good for me. Okay, Anjali, let's see. Tarot reading as a profession is good for you. We're getting the 8 of Swords. So I'm not going to say no, because I think if you're feeling called to do it, do it. But the 8 of Swords says there's stuff in the mind that's holding you back. So the formula for like when your mind is getting in your own way is to learn to sit still and to observe your mind. And if your mind still rebels against you while you're sitting still and just observing it, and it does not stop, you want to go into service, selfless service, and think more about other people. Go into karma yoga. And the more you go into karma yoga and the more you allow yourself to do actions for other people, the less your mind will annoy you and the more still you can get it. So 8 of Swords is like confusion. But also I want to say, Anjali, you have a lot of talents. You have a lot of skills. So it's like you got a lot of things to choose from with this 8 of Swords. I think it's more of like, you could probably do a lot of things. It's more about, it's up to you. You have to choose one. Vivi says, I would also like to know what the cards are saying. No question. Okay, Vivi, let's see what we got here. Empress. Okay, so it's time to, you don't have to have the last laugh. That's what I'm getting for you. You don't have to have the last laugh. Sometimes the last laugh is really silence, you know? Now's a good time to kind of pull inwards, relax, and enjoy what's going on. There's a natural harmony that's occurring in your life that you can recognize and enjoy, whether that's the luxury of what you've created for yourself or some sense of safety, or like maybe connecting with a son or daughter or a family member or a relationship. But yeah, I mean, the nurturer archetype is big with you right now. Karen B says, wow, so spot on. LOL, love it. Yay. Nilma says, your advice means the world to me. Shall I stay in a relationship which I've been trying so many times to end? I feel I'm emotionally trapped somehow. Nilma, this is such a good question. I would say, without even pulling a card, that if you've been trying to end the relationship, the question is, what's the benefit of the relationship? If you've been trying to end it and you can't end it, then what's good about it? I mean, if this is like, if this is like an abusive relationship, that's a whole different story. But if this is something that you're trying and it's just not happening, then I would say, like, maybe there's something there for you. I would say get free of this person. Star card is freedom. Star card is space. Star card is shooting for new goals and connecting with who you really are. And you know, but also it's a big choice, you know, so for, you know, a big, depending on how long you've been with this person. I don't know how much of your lives have merged or your finances, or if you're living together or not. But yeah, the big thing with the star card is the space that somebody leaves you is sometimes more valuable than they were in your life. It doesn't mean they are not valuable, but in relationship to you and what you're trying to create, I think the space to create something else will be more beneficial. All right, cool. I think we reached the end of the chat. So if anyone has last minute questions on anything, I'll answer it now. And otherwise, we will start to wrap up. That's cool. I never reached the end of the chat. Lori's 88 Angels. Let's do a card reading for you. 8 of Cups. 8 of Cups is maybe you're in a funk or somebody is in a funk really close to you right now. So now's the time to recognize that the funk, whatever funk you're in or whoever is near you, it's the funk says something is not right for you. There is something that's not connected. You want to change something. Now, when we're in a funk, sometimes we say, oh, I'm in a funk. I don't want to change things right now. I want to sit in this funk. That's fine, but it's a redirect. We all have those days where it's like, oh, today is not the day. Today's not the day. We feel down, we feel stuck, we feel unaligned. When you feel unaligned, it's a signal to get aligned. And to get aligned, usually you have to make a change. You have to, bring it back to this. We have to do, make, change, or differentiate something in time or space, here or there, coming or going, right? So do, make, change, differentiate something that you haven't before to shift things around. I'd love to know what my next move should be career-wise. Ooh, Shauna, great question. Next move career-wise. Let's see. Ooh, we're getting 9 of Swords. I am looking at some sense of conflict resolution, mediation. I'm not going to say law. I almost want to say, like, if you've ever worked in like emergency services, some type of support of people in crisis. I'm not going to necessarily say like anything from I don't know, some sort of crisis support, anything where you can help people quickly that need help quickly. That's what you're going to be looking for. Not just that, but that's kind of the sign now. Do you think America will get better around queer issues within the next decade? That's a great question. Two of this is saying yes, but not without there's going to be a lot of back and forth and a lot more back and forth, but generally yes. Like it's looking like this, but there's a lot of stuff. Can I learn enough to live well being exclusively an energy healer, or have I to work 2 jobs? So as an energy healer, I believe anything's possible, but the thing is, having your own business with energy healing or any type of like coaching, energy healing, supportive like service like that, it takes a lot of time to build it up to the place where it's supporting you. So if you're willing to take that time, you could potentially get there. But 4 of Swords says yes, but not without compromise. Cool. All right. So just to reiterate, what's coming up is I have a 2-week window open, only 2 weeks, to enroll in the master curriculum that I'm teaching. It covers all 3 levels, from tarot reading to the subtle causal plane of the esoteric material, astrology, Kabbalah, all that, to the mystical plane. Yeah. And I'm really excited. It's going to be a crazy year. We already have so many amazing students. It's the coolest community ever. And so, yeah, if you want to apply, you have 2 weeks, and then that's it. Again, every single time I start a course, I have people coming in a week later or whatever saying, oh, I actually want to join now, whatever. And it's really a hassle. So it's best for you, if you want to join, now's the time to do it. Apply, I'll get you set up. And it's freaking awesome. We have hundreds of recorded videos. We have weekly classes. We have meetup sessions and practice sessions. We're going to be doing healing work. We're going to be doing Thoth Tarot. We're going to be doing, there's divination work. There's mystical philosophy, and everything in everything is all how you can actually use it to make your life better. I'm just going to say this. I'm sorry. Like, there are so many people in the spiritual world, tarot and whatever, that are learning this stuff and staying where they are. And if you really learn it and like know how to use this stuff, your life will get better. I don't know, not to be like a crazy like psycho coach about it, but it's like, really, like, there are methods that, I don't know, have made my life so much better, and I'm really excited to be doing it with everyone. And it's like, yeah, but it takes a lot. It's a lot of work. That's why my curriculum is a year long. It's a lot of classes. It's a lot of information. It's a lot of practice. It's a lot of vulnerability, but it's freaking amazing, Yeah, I'm just so freaking excited. The community at TMA is amazing. It's like lots of we have healers, therapists, artists, musicians, ceremonial magicians, and all types of really cool, smart people that are just doing the work on themselves and really doing the work to help other people. And that's really what it's all about. So, but yeah, time commitment for my courses. The least I would need is 2 hours of your time a week, but I can give you 20. I could give you 20 hours of work a day if you want more. But 2 hours of class per week. Plus, there's recorded classes that you can go through, which is another couple hours a week if you want. Plus, there's the practice sessions, which is an hour or so a week or every other week. Plus, there's and all the pre-recorded courses are like hours and hours. So but everything you'll have lifetime access to. So it's really made for you to work with how you need to work with. A lot of times this stuff comes in waves. So I've made it so that you can jump in, join the courses, come to the live classes, and then, take all the pre-recorded stuff in your own time when it works for you. So it's flexible in that way. Of course, I'm going to recommend putting as much time as you can, but I know people have work, people have jobs and families and other things. So I have students come, they join, and then they rejoin, and then they rejoin. So it's like you can retake classes, you can retake it through the recordings. Yeah. Cool. All right, I have to sign up because I actually have to meet with the TMA cohort for our practice session today. Thank you all so much. If you have any questions, you can email me at joe@tarotmysticismacademy.com. And I'm going to put the link in the chat where you can look at the details of the curriculum and how you can sign up. Cool. Much love. I'll see you in the next wormhole.